we have these hills that are left over from excavation, the excavation process for building the house. And so they were dug out. These were probably right under where our basement now is. And it took no time. We had rented an excavator, a friend who had an excavation business who's retired. He helped me with the whole process. He dug it out, and I mean, the guy's amazing. So he whipped out the basement in hours. And so these are what are left over. And I would have, if it weren't for COVID, we would have had enough income this spring that we would have been able to just rent another excavator or a bobcat or something simple and just have these things moved in a few hours. But this year, obviously, things change. You just never know what's going to come. And so then what I did, I actually had two hills like this, probably close to the same size. One was right off the deck of our house, and I've moved probably 70% of that one with a wheelbarrow. You know, you can see that these things would take hundreds of wheelbarrow loads, and it takes a lot of time. But I can tell you one thing it did for me is I was in great shape because of it, you know? So I was in much better shape after doing this work than before. And yeah, it takes time and it's a lot of work, but I've just decided I've got to use what I got. And that's all really we can do in life. All we can really do is use what we've got. Something like this takes forever. There's a verse in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 11 that says, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." And you can get a lot out of that verse, and what I'm getting out of it probably isn't the original intention, but when it says little by little will increase it, that I think about that often. Both my wife and myself, we think about that little by little you increase things, whether it's saving money for something in the future, whether it's little by little right here in this pile. I mean, you look at it, one load of this does almost nothing. I mean, the pile is not moved. But little by little, you increase it. 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 100. Then you start noticing, wow, I've made a dent in this thing. And there's a lot of things we just don't have, but we got to use what we got. I think of the fact that on, this property, there's all kinds of things that I don't have. I don't have good soil. I have super sandy soil. Once you get lower than the topsoil, just an inch to maybe 3 inches, you get down to this sand. I mean, it's like beach sand. But I got a tiny bit of topsoil, and I got a lot of yard debris, I got a lot of grass, and I can use that slowly as mulch. I can use it for compost, and so I'm just using what I've got. And I'm happy to have that. I'm thankful for the work that I have. I'm thankful for the topsoil that I have, the little bit that I have, and I'm also thankful that I can make compost. And so that's what we're doing. I may not have the best, but I've got to use what I got, and that's all I can do. Another thing I don't have is a plow. We planned on buying, like a old used plow, meaning a rusty old pickup truck with a blade on the front of it. Our driveway, you maybe seen me in some of my videos walking down my driveway, which is nearly a quarter mile, and we get a lot of snow in this area. And so this winter, we will probably have to just use a regular old snow shovel and dig out the front of the property and then park way at the front and then hike back, which, you know what? Use what you got. None of this is complaining. I'm happy that I have a shovel. I'm happy that I have property in a driveway. And I didn't have this for years. For years, I was traveling full-time, lived in a motorhome for part of that time, and was just on the road. And I was happy for that too. And simply the point is, there's all kinds of things we don't have. As I was cutting trees, I was felling trees. We spent months living on the land, as I've shared before. And we were just in tents, no showers, no bathroom. Actually, I shared with you that we had the bag shower. As we were felling trees, I didn't have, a standard, outdoor hard hat, but I did have a bicycle helmet. And that's kind of things you look like a nerd with your friends coming over and you're wearing a bicycle helmet, but you use what you got, and that makes life a little colorful anyway, right? Being the guy with the bicycle helmet. And whatever. I simply say all this to say to you, use what you've got. There can be times in life where we're waiting till everything is perfect for us to go forward. We're waiting for all the circumstances to just line right up perfectly, but often they don't do that. For some people they do. Hey man, maybe you grew up and you had great opportunities all the time. Maybe not. The reality is we all have different opportunities. We all have things that are delivered to us in life in different ways. But all I can say is this: simply use what you've got. Is there something that you've been planning on doing, something you've wanted to get done? Maybe you haven't had enough money, or maybe you just haven't taken the time because you want the situation to be perfect. I want to challenge you to simply use what you've got.